Boys, if you guys want ridiculous posture and an upper back that really pops out to give you that extra dimension to your physique, then you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of this video because it took me nearly a decade to realize how important the upper back is when it comes to going from something with your physique to everything. And I wish I would have known this a decade ago. However, good news for you, you can shortchange all of the mistakes that I've made and how long it took me to get here, and you'll be able to do so in this video. So without further ado, let's get in today's video. Okay, boys, first order of business is we're going to tuck in like absolute gentlemen because we're here to bring back class. Class has gone missing in today's world. Everything's gone soulless. Everyone's just too much. I know you're thinking you start off this video with your shirt off. Well, unfortunately, you won't believe me if I'm like, hey, you guys want a bigger upper back? It's like, well, what do you know, big boy? Well, okay, I got a little something going on. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but, you know, enough to be like, you know, I'll listen to this guy. That's why I got to do it. I play according to the rules of the game. However, we still remain absolute classy. Tank top tucked into the shorts. Get the hell out of here. Anyways, we are going to do a chest supported wide grip row. Now, the beauty of a movement like this, you don't have to do an easy bar. You can do a barbell if you'd like. I like the easy bar because based on this bench, it's a little bit flimsy. So I don't necessarily want a barbell that's a bit longer. Pause. Absolutely necessary. But I like to go with a wider grip on them. And the beauty of the chest support is it allows you to really focus on the upper back. I like to sink into the stretch of the movement. A lot of you guys can't feel your back because you're so focused on the concentric and not so much on the eccentric. I know you're thinking eccentric, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. Whatever. Point is negative, positive. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of... I'm not gonna lie, it's been a long day. I got barely brain cells functioning. What the hell's going on? Anyways, so what I like to do is I like to focus on the negative, which is why I like the chest supported because it allows us to do that. I want to focus on the upper back. So what I do is on the front end is I pick an exercise that is easier to progress in, something that I care to progress in. And a movement like this is absolutely money. And I like going wider grip because it allows me to focus on that upper back. So I find the stretch, boom, up, and then I lower slow, stretch, up. And what I love about it is the deeper the stretch, the stronger the contraction. And as you can see, I'm sprawled out onto the bench. Don't be worrying about, bro, I'm not doing that Diddy shit at the gym. Just relax, dog. Ain't no one give a shit that much. Let me tell you that much. But, and you want to pick a heavy weight, but in the beginning, go lighter. Make sure you find the rhythm, and then from there, you go as heavy as possible with quality reps. Stretch. Yeah, and you take it to complete failure. Yeah, like a man. Wow, not gonna lie, that is absolutely awful. Anyways, and then on the back end, like I said, on the front end, we want to pick something that we want to progress in. This is a perfect exercise. It doesn't have to be a compound movement, but 8 out of 10 times it's going to be a compound movement. It's just something you care to progress in. And for me, what I think of it as is much simpler to progress in, right? But on the back end, I like to pick an isolation exercise to take these muscles to complete failure. So without further ado, superset time. Crusadia will be the very first digital country. You heard me. Digital nation, digital country. When I say it, there will be citizens, there will be mayors eventually, and then there will be residents. However, for the very first few, because I am only going to open it for 1 week, you will have instant citizenship. You will create the country with me because the biggest problem in the world today is 2 things. People want to massively improve their lives. But take it a step further. They are forced to do so in a way that is completely isolated. The reason why they're isolated is for one reason. And what's that reason? You have bad company around you. You're kind of forced to isolate. And that also means, you know, you get to do things your way. And that means having heart in a beautiful spot. But the problem is you want to massively improve your life, but you're forced to do it by yourself. That's why things like monk mode have been glamorized. And it's because no one's been able to solve this problem. This is exactly what I aim to do. If that sounds like you, you're the outlier in your life, you're the outsider, you're someone that hasn't been able to do the things that they want to do with the people they love because they don't get it, this is what I'm creating it for. I've had to do this thing all by myself, and let me tell you something, extremely overrated. but I had to do what I had to do. And all I'm doing is leveraging what I've created over the last 2 years to where it's a home for all of us. The internet's an incredible place because it's global. You're no longer confined to your local environment, and that way you actually get to go off into, and this is cheesy, quote unquote war with your boys. Not, hey, for the weekends, I live for the weekends, then during the week I hate my life. That's not how we do things here. We are here to take over. I promise you we're gonna reign king. Waitlist down below, and guess what? You might just one day be able to have some heart hanging out with all the rest of the Crusaders. That's exactly what I plan on to do, and I'm looking forward to seeing you inside. And the beauty is you ain't even gonna have to move. Not at all. You wanna take 2 light dumbbells, and what I like to do is go along this bench, and I actually might go a little bit steeper on this. So right from here, what I do is I come down straight-legged to where my head and my eyes are facing to the bench. I'm not resting my head on the bench. That's dirty. We're not dirty. Like I said, we're classy, right? But you almost want to come eye level with it, and you should feel a pull along your erectors. Boom. And I love doing these reverse flies standing. Now you can do them chest supported if you'd like, but I have found that this allows me to really lock into muscles, like the postural muscles, much more intensely than the chest supported. Because it almost forces your head to kind of stay up. Good posture, almost like a 3 trap raise. Boom. Boom. Probably should have gone heavier. And on these ones, you still want to take it to complete failure, but I like to focus on range of motion more than just pumping out weight. That's why I prefer doing these standing. Quality reps, range of motion. Up, up, head up, chest up. You seeing that posture? Get the hell out of here. Let's wrap this baby up. And there you have it, boys. Another video down the hatch. Feeling absolutely phenomenal, I'm not gonna lie. This was after a leg day. After a leg day. And in my head I said, you know something? This is the last thing I want to do. It's like 11 o'clock at night. If you guys are new here, I do not eat until I've trained, which means I've been fasting pretty much all day. Coming up on like 23 hours, something like that. I usually have my meals pretty late, but lately it's been super intense. But to me, this is the function of training. Training calluses the soft spots of your mind. It allows the real decision maker, the one that should have his hands on the wheel, to make those decisions. And the best way I can explain it to you is if I told you, hey man, can you help me out with something? And you've been sitting all day long not doing anything. You go, oh, really? I don't feel like doing that shit. We all do that. It's extremely normal. But if I were to ask you right after a workout or after you've been super productive on something, but especially a workout, what do you say? Yeah, dude, absolutely, let's go bang it out. That's the function of training. The side effect is the physique I've always wanted in my entire life. When I thought about health and fitness as a tool to give me, in my opinion, the most important currency on the planet, and I'm not going to include time in that. What I'm talking about is things that we can actually, use and manipulate. Not that we can't manipulate time in certain ways by being fancy, but more so energy. I believe energy is the ultimate form of currency because a lot of people make decisions from weakness because they're terrified of things go wrong. I don't think I have the energy to pull myself out. And that is the worst way to go through life. I do the same thing. It's why a lot of people are risk averse. They're terrified of risk because they don't trust themselves to get themselves out, but deep down, it's an energy issue. If you knew you had an abundance of energy, you'd never run out of it. Think about how much different your decision making would be. And by being in phenomenal shape, you're going to be ahead of 95% of people on the planet, especially right now. However, this is where I'm a bit different. What are you doing with that fitness and health? How are you spending that in your real life to move your real life forward? This is the most important thing for me. And that's why I've built Crusadia. Crusadia is essentially the first digital country made for the outlier. It's for the one, for some reason, that 85% range, where it's like, I'm good enough. It's just never good enough for you. But that just means your standards are disgustingly high. In your entire life, you've probably been told to simmer down your standards. Hey man, that's good enough. Hey, don't be weird. Just fit in. Just be normal. If you ain't that way and you're going against your nature your entire life, you'll end up self-sabotaging. A lot of you guys on this page probably are self-sabotagers, realistically. A lot of the things that you hear me say and you're like, man, it feels like he's speaking to a certain part of me that I've just never heard before. That's why. You're trying to play a game that ain't yours. You're winning at games that aren't meant to be won for you. It may work for Joe Schmo. It may work for person B. It ain't going to work for you. And that's exactly what we've done with Crusadia. It is for the outlier. Basically, those of us that just, for some reason, been the lone wolves, the Sigma types. You get us all into one area, learning how to trust one another, building businesses with one another. And step one being everyone needs to be a walking unit because life just gets a lot easier this way. What do you think is going to happen? We're going to have a network of influence that rivals the top of the top. I guarantee it. So if that's you, please check down the description down below. It'll explain everything out. If you have any more questions, DM me on Instagram. This is what I'm here for, man. But regardless, I'm still going to be kicking out YouTube videos, right? It's what I do for the boys. You know what I'm saying? But the real dogs are in Crusadia. They're going to get the best of me all the time. And that's the game, right? I will always give special treatment to those that have put their true trust inside of me. Everyone else always comes secondary. It's family first and then everybody else. That's just how I look at it. That's how I've always been. Us versus everyone. That's the shit we're on. Anyways, I love you guys. If there's anything you guys want more specifically, drop it down in the comments. And if people like those comments, give those a thumbs up. And then I'll make a video on it. As always, y'all, I love you very much. From Uncle Rami to the Natural Crusaders. I love you guys. Uncle Rami out. Peace.